So Bob came home from work today and I had my makeup on and I looked flawless. I was all dressed up and ready to go get something to eat. But unfortunately, he was really tired and really sore, and it's the lunar holiday here in Korea. We just decided to order pizza instead. So I took off my makeup and I started crying because I was so frustrated about not being able to meet people and not being able to go out. And we discussed the possibility of me maybe moving home. And I said, well, I waited so long to be with you, and people are going to say things. They're going to say, oh, Leslie, you need to choose Bob over, being bored or feeling sorry for yourself. And he's like, screw them. Doesn't matter what people say. We know what we have, and that's all that matters. I made a goal that I would at least spend 3 months here.
I'm really excited to move to Florida, don't get me wrong, but some of the reasons that I'm excited kind of make me sad. I've exhausted all options of all of my entire life in this town in small upstate New York. I have like one friend here. I don't really like or trust the majority of my family. Any memory that I really have here is like tied to like these toxic people or negative people that have had such a bad impact on my life. Why can't I fully enjoy the moving to Florida experience? Because I'm so pumped. This is what I've wanted for years. I'm like super excited about it, but it's like a part of the reason I want to leave is because these people suck. And it's like, why am I even like letting them in my head? And I understand like the better move is for me to go there because it's like better for me to grow my brand and better for me to do stuff like my books and the shows, and that's great. But the one of the main reasons that I'm not happy here at all is because everyone has proved to be shady, narcissistic, egotistical, vile, vindictive pieces of trash, and that is what it is, unfortunately.
My husband, Bob Sullivan. We've been married for 18 years. And he's the reason we're in Korea. This is my biggest supporter, my best friend, and I will talk a lot about him in my videos. Maybe a lot of good stuff, there might be some bad stuff, but he's a contract worker, and we're over here in Osan, Korea, committed to a year, which we don't know whether or not we're going to actually do that or not. It's turned out to be a little rougher than we thought it was going to be, but we're sticking to it right now. I met him in the Army. I was in the Army and he was in the Army. Yes, I was a soldier. I was a combat medic. And
a combat pain in the ass.
Yeah, I was a pain in the ass. But I wanted everybody to meet him.
But a lot of people don't know that my mom had a stroke in the late part of November, December of 2016. She was in ICU for a period of time. She's now in a rehabilitative center in California. After many battles, I got the epiphany, oh my gosh, it'd be, what would be more feasible is to move my mom here to Texas. What's difficult about it is that there's so many pieces to this that have to be done and put in place before my mom can move here. And then also it's difficult to talk with my mom because she cries and she's upset, and it's so disheartening for me to talk to my mom when she's crying. I cannot even bear it. It just breaks my heart. We're trying to buy a house or rent to own or, lease to own. So just a lot of things going on. But in the midst of all this, I have hope.
Hi, I'm Danielle, also known online as Dannykins, and I am from Messina, New York, but I live in Charlotte, North Carolina now. My connection to the Bryce Cameron show is I've been on the show many times as a guest, as a host, whatever. I've been a part of Bryce's charity shows. Like, I've been a part of the show for a while. That's because Bryce is one of my best friends. We went to high school together, and that's where we met, and we've been friends ever since, and it's pretty great. I'm involved with Bryce in a lot of his projects that he does, because, like I said, he's like one of my best friends, so that's pretty great.
Nothing at all went right today. I had people cancel on shows that I was going to do. I had people cancel on the podcast, and it wasn't stuff like they could even control. It was stuff that was completely out of their control. It was stuff that they couldn't not do. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't help it. You can't help if you have no Wi-Fi. You can't help if you have to babysit. You can't help any of that. But I don't like the feeling of not being able to control a situation. I don't like that the end result of a situation is completely out of my hands, that I have nothing to do with the trajectory of where a situation is headed. And I literally like completely freak out. And I found myself like completely slipping into like that old style of thinking. And I was like, oh no, like this sucks. This is horrible. This is terrible. It's just going to get worse. And then I started thinking like, you know, like, okay, I'm a failure at these projects and I can't deliver on time. Like, it's amazing. Or this is horrible. And then it just got worse and worse. And then I started listening to sad music and I was like, oh my God, Bryce, what are you doing? And then I went on Facebook, which social media, by the way, if you're feeling like down, social media is not the place that you want to be. So I go on Facebook and I see this birthday post that is to my recent ex-girlfriend. And like in the post, someone is like talking trash about me, saying that like I'm like, happy birthday, I'm glad you like rid yourself of like the toxic person that you were with, whatever. And I'm like, ouch, because anyone who knows the situation knows that I was not the toxic person in that relationship, that she was very much the toxic person. And I'm like not trying to come at her, I'm not trying to bash her, but like it is what it is. Like, facts speak for themselves, and I don't have to like sit here and present the facts to anyone, but I know the truth. And that whole thing about like that there's two sides or three sides, like the truth, her truth, my truth, and the real truth, that's bull. There is like the truth that's like honest, and then there's the truth that she wants to project out into the world. And you can change the narrative all you want, but that does not change who you are inside as your inner core. And it's like, why are people trying to throw shade at me in comments on social media when they don't even know the situation? Like, you live like 2 hours away. You have no idea what goes on in this inner circle. So don't try to like come at me. Do not come for me unless I send for you. And guess what? I didn't put a stamp on it. I never sent for you, boo-boo. So I'm kind of really annoyed about that.
Today is a good day. I feel fantastic. It's a Sunday and it's in the afternoon in Korea. My husband and I are gonna take a quick trip down to the Air Force Base and get a few things. I made a really important post yesterday regarding my sobriety. I know I've mentioned that I've been completely sober since July 7th, 2016. I've got 19 months sober, and it is the most important thing to me next to God, and it saved my life. I woke up the morning after drinking so much alcohol and taking my medications by the grace of God. He reached down and touched me and spoke to me and told me, you're not going to die today. I've got plans for you. And I haven't had another drop of alcohol since that morning, and it's been a true blessing. It's been the hardest thing that I've ever done, but it has gotten easier. I have a lot of faith in God. I pray every day. I journal. I spread the word. I'm an open book about my sobriety and about my past. I was an ugly, mean drunk. And I was nasty and mean, and I've completely turned my life around. But one of the things that I do is I really reach out to other people. I try to make a difference in their lives. And I made a post regarding my sobriety and how much it's changed my life. And that post was liked. I put it in 2 groups and on my home page, and currently has been liked over 500 times. And that to me is a true blessing, because that means 500 people have heard me. And I hope if I can just reach one person and help them save their life by my experiences, then I've really made a huge difference. And that's so important to me. It's a priority, because I want people to live the life that I'm living. And I'm so blessed that it touched so many people. And I'm crying because it means so much to me.
What separates me from other people, like, I'm a very, very loud personality, if that makes sense. Like, I'm very much like, ugh, like, I'm just a lot. It's really hard to explain, but I'm a lot of personality. I'm a lot of person. I am very outgoing and outspoken, and I say what I think, and I do what I think and I feel is right. And if I think something you're doing is wrong, I will let you know. I'm just very much, I'm open and I'm honest with people, but some people, some people don't always like that type of thing. But for me, like, I want to be who I am, and I want to be honest about who I am.